implement corresponds to the element of earth. Earth, whose symbol is a downward pointing triangle with a horizontal line through its center, is associated with the bull, the north, earthly colors like green and brown, and Archangel Uriel. The ritual tool pentacle. The ritual tool pentacle should not be confused with the talismanic pentacles that are used to bind spirits and energies to. Before being used in a ritual, all ritual tools undergo a ceremony of consecration, which is a ritual where that tool is magically activated. The four animals assigned to the first four elements, the lion, the eagle, the angel or human, and bull, also appear in the Bible. Ezekiel remarks on four living beings that came upon him instantly in a cloud. In Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 10, it states, "As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side, and they four also had the face of an eagle." Later on in the Bible, Revelation chapter 4, verse 7, nearly the same exact animals are mentioned again. "And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast was like a calf, and the third beast had the face of a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle." As stated earlier, once the magician has invoked a spirit or type of energy, he has a number of options. The first option is to invoke the spirit into his body. To invoke a being into your body allows for direct communication between the spirit and the magician, and even allows the being to partly control the magician. For this reason, magicians should only invoke benevolent spirits into their bodies. Another option the magician has is to assign a spirit a direct task. The magician may ask the spirit to cause physical harm, feelings of attraction, and discord in other people. He may also ask the spirit to cause changes in the weather, cause disruption in entire organizations, and even find hidden things. Magic of this type, that alters the world outside of the magician, is called thaumaturgic magic. Once present, the magician may demand that the spirit empower a talisman. A talisman, often called a pentacle, is a physical object that represents a spiritual energy. The talisman becomes the physical abode of a spirit or energy that is constantly working to fulfill the purpose of the talisman. The purpose or duty of a talisman depends largely on the spirit used to empower it. Each of the 5 elements and 7 planets corresponds to a specific personality type and therefore capable of certain duties. As with all magical acts, one must never assign a job to a spirit that does not correspond to its nature, similar to how we don't employ mechanics to give us a physical and doctors to fix our cars. To assign the talisman a job involving love and attraction, one should empower the talisman with the spirit of the planet Venus, or the element of water. To succeed in conflict, the energy of the planet Mars is what should be quote-unquote activated at the beginning of the ritual. To become a better author, the magician would invoke the spirits of the planet Mercury, or spirits of the element air. After the appropriate type of energy for the job is selected and invoked, the magician specifies exactly the purpose of the talisman. This act is called consecration, and usually includes a sentence specifically declaring intent. Something like, "I consecrate this talisman for the purpose of increasing my abilities as an author. May this talisman fulfill its purpose without evasion, ceasing its work only when it is deconsecrated. It happens that I am writing this book under the quote-unquote influence of just such a talisman. A talisman that uses planetary spirits should be consecrated on that planet's day and hour. A talisman may also be charged or recharged by the process of thought embedding spoken of earlier, but these talismans are considerably weaker. Sometimes, rituals that increase the flow of astral energy, such as the middle pillar ritual, are used to embed a talisman with intention. Talismans are usually inscribed with names and symbols. The names drawn on the talisman correspond to the names of the spirits who will be assigned the duty of fulfilling the talisman's purpose. In Western magic, these characters are usually in English or Hebrew. The symbols that usually adorn the talisman do not represent abstract concepts, but names. Symbols that represent names are called sigils. These sigils are formed by the use of a kamiya, or magic square, which is simply a grid of numbers. To use a kamiya to form a sigil, one would convert each letter in the name into a number, and then begin drawing lines connecting the numbers on the grid according to their sequence in the name. Each of the 7 planets corresponds to a different grid of different sizes, and the spirit's name must be drawn using the grid assigned to that spirit's planet. Aside from names and symbols associated with that talisman's purpose, you'll also discover that the talisman itself is made of the material and painted the color that corresponds to the planet or element. Instead of assigning the spirit to a one-time duty or a full-time talisman, the magician may wish to evoke the spirit into visible appearance. To evoke a spirit is to command it to be present in the room, but not within the minds of those present. Evocations are among the most dangerous magical acts and should not be taken lightly. Most commonly, the spirit is evoked into a magical triangle while the magician stands inside of a magical circle. The magical triangle is used as a spiritual container and confines the spirit during the ritual. Sometimes the triangle includes a scrying mirror. For example, the spirit can use the scrying mirror to transmit scenes of other worlds or of ancient times. The spirit may also, of course, project his own image into the mirror. The magical circle the magician stands in is usually painted on the ground and often includes other symbols like pentagrams and hexagrams. The magician calls upon higher powers to command the spirit to make himself present within the triangle or mirror. The spirit must be given some kind of substance, like steam or smoke, to take a physical appearance. Otherwise, the mirror must be used. Once present, the spirit should be commanded to reveal itself in a manner that is not hideous, and to speak in a soothing voice, using your native tongue. The spirit should also be commanded to control its odor. It is the nature of some spirits to arrive as hideous beasts, with a foul odor and an unsoothing voice. Signs of a successful evocation are a sudden wind, noises, voices, and odors in the ritual chamber. An object bearing that spirit's sigil is placed in the triangle, and this object is subjected to injury when the magician wishes to force the obedience of that spirit. Aside from thaumaturgic magic, or low magic, which uses magic to alter the outside world according to will, there is also theurgic magic, or high magic. Theurgic magic is magic used to change the self. This type of magic is by far the lesser known of the two. The most common ambition involved with theurgic magic is what is called knowledge and conversation with the holy guardian angel. This merger of the guardian angel and the lower self can take years, and this long-term ambition requires a series of rituals which slowly merge the magician and his guardian angel into one body. Merger with one's holy guardian angel is also called the Great Work, and is among the highest achievements of both white and black magicians. Although the term is used profanely to describe the chemical conversion of one element to another, alchemy is another word used to describe this kind of spiritual development. The middle pillar ritual, detailed earlier, is one example of spiritual alchemy. The individual steps of spiritual development are called initiation. Contrary to popular belief, which uses words like initiation to describe an entry into a group, in magic, initiation represents increasingly advanced states of spiritual alchemy.